November 1918. Germany is crumbling after 4 devastating years of war. Kaiser Wilhelm II, once Europe's mightiest ruler, sits trapped at military headquarters in Spa, Belgium, watching his empire collapse. Revolutionary mobs march through German cities, sailors revolt, and even his own generals can't guarantee his safety. The Allies' message is clear: no peace without abdication. When Chancellor Max von Baden announces Wilhelm's abdication on November 9th, without even asking him first, the game is over. On November 10, 1918, a convoy of cars crosses into the Netherlands. Local crowds scream insults at the fallen emperor as he waits on the platform for his imperial train. The last German Kaiser has become a refugee. Wilhelm fled to the Netherlands because fleeing west meant getting catched by vengeful enemies, and going back to Germany risked him being attacked by revolutionaries. Queen Wilhelmina grants asylum and Count Bentinck offers temporary refuge at Kasteel Amerongen, but it's hardly royal treatment. The Dutch queen keeps him at arm's length to appease both her people and the angry allies. The drama isn't over. In 1919, American Colonel Luke Lear attempts to kidnap Wilhelm, claiming to be a diplomat but leaving empty-handed. The Allies pressure the Netherlands to hand over their royal refugee for trial, but the Dutch stand firm. In May 1920, Wilhelm purchases Huisdorn, a country estate near Utrecht that becomes his final home. Here, surrounded by 60 railway wagons full of smuggled treasures from Germany, the former emperor begins his new life as a private citizen. What does a deposed emperor do at his time? Wilhelm becomes surprisingly ordinary. He spends countless hours chopping wood. Thousands of trees fall during his 21-year stay. The man who once commanded armies now finds peace in manual labor, walking the grounds and feeding ducks. He remarries in 1922 to Princess Hermine after his first wife dies. He writes memoirs that carefully avoid his reign, painting nostalgic pictures of his youth instead. He indulges his passion for archaeology, a hobby from his earlier Greek villa days. But Wilhelm never stops believing he will return. Throughout the 1920s, he maintains contact with German monarchists and initially hopes that rising Nazis might restore him. He even meets twice with Hermann Göring. However, Hitler has no intention of sharing power. By the mid-1930s, the monarchy dream is dead. The Nazi years bring complex emotions. Wilhelm celebrates the 1938 Anschluss of Austria as German unity achieved, even without him. But frustration grows. After the Kristallnacht in 1938, he writes to his sister, "For the first time, I am ashamed to be a German." The brutality of Nazi ideology becomes impossible to ignore. When Germany invades the Netherlands in 1940, Wilhelm finds himself under German control again, but as a forgotten relic, not a restored ruler. Churchill offers safe passage to Britain, but the stubborn ex-Kaiser refuses to leave his adopted home. When France falls in 1940, he sends Hitler a congratulatory telegram, calling the Wehrmacht his soldiers, which irritates the Führer. Wilhelm's distaste for the Nazis grew over time, calling Hitler a man alone, without family, without children, without God. He warned ominously that Germany had become a nation of hysterics and hermits. Wilhelm II dies on June 4, 1941 at age 82. Even in death, he defies Hitler. The Führer wants a grand state funeral in Berlin to link the Third Reich to the old empire. But Wilhelm's will is clear. He returns to Germany only when the monarchy is restored. He is buried quietly at dawn, with Nazi symbols displayed despite his explicit wishes against them. The last German Kaiser dies as he lived his final decades, as Mr. Hohenzollern, a private citizen in exile, his dreams of restoration buried with him in Dutch soil. By the way, as the monarchy still isn't restored in Germany, you can still visit his coffin at Huisdorn and even explore how he lived there.